Hello awesome people, what is going on? It is Brad Fusion here, and today I'm going to be showing you guys a new game on Steam called Stranded Deep. So Stranded Deep is a first person survival / exploration game by the development team of Beam Team Games. But anyway, I've been looking forward to this game for quite a few months now, and I'm honestly excited to play this on my channel because, again, I've been looking forward to this game for about a month or two after watching Castaway again just the other week to get myself hyped up and excited for how this game is actually going to play. Now, I have played the game for about 30 minutes or so to get used to the game's controls and how the game plays, just so I wouldn't jump into this being a complete and utter idiot. So anyway, this is the first build of the game. This is alpha version 0.01. This is literally the first build. It's probably about an hour after the game came out on Steam. So I'm going to go options here. Now, there aren't too many that we can change in game right now. You can change resolution and graphical options out of game, and in right now in game anyway, you can turn HUD information on or off, crosshair on or off, and the audio sliders here that don't actually work. You can control the audio from outside of the game in your little bar down the bottom right there, your taskbar. Input here, it doesn't necessarily matter too much. There is smoothing, I don't really care for that, at least it's not acceleration. So that's the basics of the option menu. So now I'm going to begin the game, and we are going to start a new game so you guys get to see the opening cutscene and how the game actually teaches you how to play before we jump into actually surviving. So let's click start game here. So, with any typical game where you get stranded on an island, you always start out on a plane, which I think is rather funny, because I think this does kind of follow Castaway a little bit more than I was initially thinking. So anyway, here we are on a plane right now. You guys can see us looking around and whatnot. Now, we have to go make a martini. Apparently, our character is classy enough to make a martini. This teaches you the controls of how to actually craft stuff. So, here we are with the martini, the trolley, sorry. Now we hold down left click to craft martini with the three ingredients that were on the table there, and then we hold down tab, select our lighter, light the martini, and then we drink the martini. There we are, we now have a martini. Very nice. So that is the basics of crafting. Basically, you stick things together physically, and then you can combine them when the game actually tells you that you can combine them. Now, I do only know of a few recipes of sorts, or a few blueprints right now, combinables. So I am still very new to the game. Obviously, I've only played it for about half an hour, so to kind of experience it, so I wasn't a complete and utter idiot and how everything works. Anyway, plane is going down. Scary, scary stuff. Of course, this is always how this ends. Okay, here we are. We're now underwater. Let's escape this thing. Let's go get our life raft and let's get out of here. I don't know if I can really take anything from here. I would like to, but it seems like the character's a little bit more focused on living than he is focused on getting anything outside of that there. So here's our life raft. Let's climb into this thing first, and let's hopefully escape out of here. So the engine knocked us unconscious, and now we have drifted away from the plane, and here we are right now. So we do have a paddle here, which I can pick up with the E key, and then if I press left click, we can actually start paddling towards our nearest island here. Now, this game is procedurally generated, meaning that every island or every game you play will be different in how the islands are generated. Even if I spread further out, they will also be different as well, which I think is really kind of cool. So I'm going to head back over here. And we're gonna kind of just wash up on the land here. We can take our life raft up on the land, like so. Just keep it out of the water. I'm doing this via right clicking as well for anyone who is interested. And if I press Q, I can kind of just drop my paddle into the boat because I don't necessarily need it. Now, your inventory system works rather simply. You have 8 spaces in total, and you can stack items. I believe, I don't know if every item is stackable, but you can stack a certain amount of items. So I just want to quickly get a feel for this island that I appear to be on. See if there's anything of interest on here. And you can see right now there's a few distant islands just out there. There's one over there, and I think there's one over there as well. Very hard to see. There's also apparently a small wreck just out to the ocean a little bit, which I think is kind of cool. I might go check that out eventually. Now, there are sharks and there's other wildlife as well that can and will most likely kill us. I don't think their little crabs will kill us, and I haven't actually seen any crabs yet. Well, not in this world. In my own world, I had seen crabs. But I'm just checking around just to see if there's anything of interest. So the first thing you really want to do is to make yourself a crude axe. Now, the crude axe is used most likely, or mostly, for chopping down trees and that of the such. So I'm going to... There's nothing out here. I'm going to head back, and I'm going to get myself some sticks, and then we'll use those sticks to craft ourselves our very first axe, which will then give us access to more sticks and more resources, so then we can then craft more stuff. Again, the game does look very nice, and here is a crab. I can kill it if I so decide to, and then just keep the crab on me. You have to cook the crab on a campfire, obviously, else you will become very sick for eating raw crab. Now again, I'm just going to quickly check over this side of the island here, just for anything of interest. Maybe even a few sticks or something I could utilize. Now, if I do hold down F, this is where a lot of your information is going to be. This is where it shows you the time of day, as well as your character's stat information. So you have your health, you have your hunger, and you have your thirst, all on your watch, as well as time and temperature. So I'm guessing your character is rather dependent on this, like even the temperature side of things as well. If you get too cold, you have the risk of dying, which I think is kind of cool. But anyway, so now we have this. I'm going to see if I can find any plants that I could use to cut down, like this one here. This will give me lashings, if I'm correct. Now, lashings can be utilized to stick things together. Now, how do I chop down a tree? Well, I'm still figuring that out yet. I mean, before we have an axe. Now, I can stab it like this, and this actually works. So we can actually cut down a palm tree using a knife. It might take some time, but at least it can be done. It is probably most likely a little bit faster with a crude axe than it is with a small hunting knife. But there we go. We now have our very first palm tree knocked over, and I'm just a little push there to bring it over here. Now what I want to do is I want to separate these so that I can utilize what they actually have. So I'm going to just hit this trunk here, just kind of break this off a little bit, and then I'll hit it again to make this into sticks. That way we can make our very first crude axe. Now, as far as I know, items have a sense of durability as well. If I go back to my inventory right now, you guys can see that my pocket knife has been used up quite considerably, just from chopping down this one tree. Now, the knife itself isn't necessarily meant to be used for this, hence why it is going through its durability rather fast. It's most likely meant to be used more so on plants and smaller stuff than it is used on actually chopping down a tree itself. But because I can't find any sticks, I'm utilizing what I currently have. So the way crafting works is rather simple. You drop items together like such, and they'll actually glow an orange color. So if I drop this here as well, you'll see they are both glowing orange together, meaning that something can be done with this combination. So now I'm going to drop a lashing on top of this, or drop it on top of this, and you guys can see that all three of these are glowing. So when I hold down left click, I can make a crude axe. That, as you guys can see, requires one rock, one stick, and one rope. Combine it together, and I have an axe. Now, as far as I know, there's no way to actually sort your inventory out other than to drop items to kind of get it into the right order. So if I do that, then obviously the lashing is there, and if I now drop the lashing, then I have my axe up here as well. So now I can just pick this stuff back up again. Now, the next thing you want to do, and I think plants do regrow as this plant is slowly starting to come back. The next thing I want to do is to create ourselves a fire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out the rest of these logs here by pressing a hotkey 4 to get to our axe here. And we are going to break this up into, again, smaller sticks. I'm not too sure what I can do with logs just yet. I haven't actually found anything to do with them. I've found things to do with the sticks, which is great, but nothing so much to do with the logs themselves. So primarily what I've been doing is I've been breaking up the logs into sticks and utilizing them to make campfires, to make a bed, and I think you can probably make a shelter of sorts with it. I just haven't really gotten around to figuring out how to do a shelter yet. Campfire here. And obviously, since this is the first day of the game as well, being on Steam or being released at all, it is very hard to find hints and wikis and stuff to actually assist you. But hopefully, by me doing this video, maybe I am helping some people in figuring out how this game actually works. So again, my hunger isn't exactly too bad. I do think that crab only restores 2. There is also a potato plant here as well. I might cut this down because this does regrow back anyway, so I want to maybe get myself some potato if I can. Just get myself some very, very nice potatoes. Now, I'm not sure if I can boil the water, and maybe that is a possibility, and I wouldn't mind actually doing that. Anyway, I'm going to bring my raft over towards my campfire here, so everything's a little bit closer to home, I guess. Is there anything else I can pick up over here? I'm just quickly checking around to see if there is anything I have maybe missed. I do have this to take back with me, so I will take this back right now. So your character is impeded when you are dragging stuff around, in the sense that you do slow down depending on the size of the object you are dragging. And I also recommend not sticking everything out too close to the ocean, because the tide does rise and fall, at least as far as I can tell. That's why all up here is wet as well, because I believe the tide does get to this height when it actually comes to that point of the tide rising. Anyway, I'm going to bring the raft back around again, so it's not left over here by itself. Now, as far as I can tell, items you drop in the world stay in the world. So, just because you don't have an inventory or at least a larger inventory, you can actually resort to putting items in certain places and utilizing your memory, I guess, to go and grab said items when they are actually needed. So I'm going to quickly just move you back out of the road over here, and then put my life raft just close to the water, just in case it's going to be needed. Actually, I'll put it up on the rock so it won't go away anywhere. There we go. So we are beginning our little survival here. We have a campfire ready to go. I do feel like it might be a little bit too close to the water. I can't really move it, so it will have to stay here. But I don't think the water will rise anytime soon. So it will be nighttime in about another 6 in-game hours, which these do go by really quickly. I think it's 1 minute every second, so you can figure out how long that'll be. So that's another 6 minutes or so before it's nighttime, I think, or it might be a little bit less. So as far as I can tell, there's nothing too special on this little island of mine. I can go down into the ocean to check any wreckages, if there is any, and you guys can see the underwater right now. Underwater is very pretty. You can see a lot of things, including, again, more wildlife, which again will most likely try to kill you if you aren't careful. But I'm not going to spend too long in here because my character obviously can't breathe for too long. You can find gear and such. You can also find, as far as I can tell, you can find treasures and whatnot in the ocean. However, I again haven't played for too long to actually have experienced any of that stuff either. I think there is breathing equipment. There is like flippers and stuff to help you go a little bit faster. Maybe I can catch a fish. I really want to try catching a fish. Come here, fish. Sardine. Sardine. Let me get you. I want to... I want sardines. Okay, maybe that's not the right way. Maybe I need a spear, like a fishing spear. I don't necessarily know how to make them, per se, but, I don't think it'd be too hard to make one. I mean, you just need a sharp stick, at least in most cases. At least you'd think you would. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to see what I can craft with what I have. So, again, we have another trunk here that gives me 2 logs, and a palm branch. Now, this can be broken off into just the palm leaves themselves, and they can be used for building yourself a bed. Actually, there is this out here. I want to check this out, because I did see this before. Again, I'm not sure if I can kill a fish with my little knife here. Doesn't seem likely, so maybe either I'm just hitting them in the wrong place, or I'm just very bad at fishing. So what is in here, if anything at all? It's a little bit sizable. So maybe there is something in here. Ooh, it's definitely is. Oh, here we go. Here's a hard case. What do we have inside of it? A compass. I don't have any inventory space. Okay. We're fine. We can dump off a... What does that sound for? I don't like that sound at all. Hang on. What does it sound for? I'm afraid that there's something out here that should be... Oh my... Okay, that's a shark. That is a shark. There is a shark nearby. Okay, what can I drop off? What can I not need to take? Crab? You can go. Feed the shark. Can I actually feed a shark? I really want that compass, and I really need to get back to land, but he is hanging around so dominantly. Oh, don't fall down so much. As long as he can't necessarily get to where I am, because it's too shallow for him, he might not necessarily try. He is still, again, hanging around, which is scary in itself. So I'm pretty sure one shark attack is enough to kill you, if he can actually get to you to kill you. I'm going a little bit quiet here because for whatever reason I feel that talking quietly will stop the shark from getting to me. This is very scary in itself. So once he starts going away again, I'm gonna make a break for it. I'm gonna see if I can get that compass, get back out to the boat here where he can't get me again, and then I'm gonna try to make a run back for land. So here we actually have a compass now, not essentially the most wanted item, but it does help me, to say the least. I'm going to try to get back to land. Okay, run, swim fast, stead fast, my friend. Let's get to land. Let's get to safety. Let's get away from the shark. I don't like sharks. Okay, so that is our very first adventure out into the ocean. Obviously, using a raft might be a little bit more helpful, but the rafting does take a little while to obviously smooth around and to paddle and everything. It is very slow as opposed to swimming yourself. So again, now we have a compass here that we can utilize. Not too sure what I can really do with that other than give myself a sense of direction. What if I can just stick it on the ground and use it? No, apparently I cannot. We will stick it in our life raft. That way we don't lose it at all. Now, what happened to the campfire here? Pardon me. Oh, here it is. And we will get to cooking, I believe. Our character's getting a little bit hungry here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself another crab, if I can find another crab that's willing to be victim. Thank you, crab, ever so much for that. Your sacrifice will be not in vain. So I'm going to light the campfire now. Campfire is now lit. Now, this does look so much nicer at night time. A campfire lasts around about a little under a day, I think, in game time, so probably a few hours. So the way you cook is rather simple. You drop an item, most likely not on the ground, but you drop it onto a fire. And as long as it's within that fire's proximity, it will be cooking. So I can hold it here, or I can just try to somehow get it to rest on that fire. I've got it to rest on a fire before, but maybe today is not my day in terms of cooking a crab. Come on, stay there. There we go. Okay, it's cooking very nicely. So after a while, that will become a cooked crab, and I can consume that safely without getting any sort of food poisoning or without getting sick at all. So the sun is getting awfully close to setting now, which is rather nice. So again, I'm going to break down this bit here into its final component so I can utilize that as well. So I'm going to break this part off, and that way that will give me one log, and it should give me a pile of palm leaves as well when I break off the other piece. Again, I'm not too sure what to do with logs. Maybe there is something I can utilize them for. I haven't necessarily found a recipe, but again, they do glow like this. I would have thought that they would have glowed together if they were to be used together, but maybe you can only use one log for something specific. I'm yet to... Did you fall out of the fire? Crab, come on. You can cook better than that. On the fire. Now, the one thing that doesn't make too much sense to me, and this is probably just a personal gripe I have against the game itself, and that is because cooking takes time, and the fact that the time is sped up in this game, it takes almost an hour to cook a crab. Now, that might necessarily be accurate, as I don't eat seafood, so not too sure about that. And there we go. We have the palm leaves all stacked rather nicely here, and we'll stack some of the sticks here as well. Now you need a few of these as well as a few lashings to make a bed, which I'll make in a second. So I'm gonna grab that off the fire here, see if it's cooked. I don't think it is. Nope, still not cooked yet. We'll dump you back on the fire again. Cook you a little bit more here. It would be nice if I could have a crab on a stick, so I could cook it a little bit easier. Oh, a ding sound to indicate your food is cooked. I didn't realize my campfire had a built-in microwave. Anyway, we can now consume this food here, and we will be safe to do so without getting too sick. Your character just eats the whole thing in one fell swoop, which I guess isn't necessarily too bad. So here's the pile of things. I guess if I stick this here, maybe I can make something. Not yet. I think I need another lashing to do so, or maybe even more sticks, which I do have plenty of here. If I break the log down into its stick format. So again, this game is very simplistic in how it runs. Actually, the download was rather small. It is in the Unity engine, and the download itself I think was around about 500 meg or so, which again is rather small for a game of this size. But I'm guessing the reason why it's so small is because everything in the game is generated, at least the islands. There's no real... The only real base level in this game is the... I'm doing terribly, by the way, at stacking everything. And we can make a campfire. I don't necessarily want to. And here comes nighttime, and you can see the moon rising over the trees over there, which I think, again, looks rather beautiful, especially with my campfire going on right now. Now, it will become extremely dark when my campfire goes out. Maybe I can stick a stick to help that. Let's just see if that's actually a possibility. Can I stick a stick on a fire? I was thinking maybe I could, maybe I can't. I don't know. We'll see. I'll just stick you there. Now I'm going to wander off and see if I can find another plant here. Now I can, I think, use my lighter for lighting, like so. But I do have to hold down the trigger to do so. So we'll light it up again, and we'll see if that's not the right plant. I'm looking for a specific plant, like that one there that I've already cut down, to get myself some lashings, some more lashings, so I can then build myself a bed. Now again, a lot of the game does come from being able to explore around, as that is something that you definitely need to do in this game. Maybe I can use this to get some more stuff from it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it's complete. Oh no, we do get lashings from it again. Very nice. And again, look at that's beautiful. You can't say that is not beautiful in any way. I'm just gonna take a screenshot of that. Actually, I think that's very, very pretty. But anyway, moving on. So now that we have our extra lashings, there's a potato plant that's still growing. I'm going to stick everything of mine into this pile here, and that's basically how crafting works. You just stick things together and you make stuff from it. So we can only still make a campfire. Maybe I'm missing something. Didn't think I was missing something, but maybe I am. Still going to make a campfire. Maybe I need more palm leaves, which isn't the hardest thing to get as long as you cut down a tree. I'll chop down the small tree right here, because this one is kind of, well, it's rather small and not necessarily needed. You can eat coconut as well. You get green coconuts, which I have in my inventory right now, I believe. You break the shell of the green coconut to make it into a normal coconut, and you can then drink that coconut. And then once you've drunk the coconut milk out of it, you can then, not coconut milk, but once you drink the contents of the coconut, you can then use the coconut itself for eating as well. So it does provide food and water, consumable drinks. How would I put that? It's not counted as water, but it will replenish your thirst, basically. My speech is all over the place today, probably because I'm trying to master how this game works in such a short amount of time, which I don't know if I'm doing necessarily too well. So for first impressions though, I have to admit I am very pleased with how this game runs right now. Now this is again the first build of the game, at least the first public build of the game, which I admit, for $15, what you have here is a decent survival game already. The interface can use a little bit more work, and they did say that they will be working on the interface a little bit more given the time to do so, which again, I don't see anything wrong with, because, well, the game itself runs perfectly fine. Right now, I'm getting about 90 to 100 FPS on this island, with the game on ultra settings running at 720p. Now for a lot of people 720p is rather terrible, and you know, I can't necessarily deny that either, but I do run at 720p simply for the sake of recording at 720p. So I'm going to drop all these on here and think maybe I can make a bed. I must be missing something I haven't noticed that I'm missing yet. I thought maybe I had enough resources there to make something decent. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm missing something else. Last time I checked, I only really required sticks and the palms. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something I need, something I don't notice that I need. Oh well, we are compiling everything here anyway, so it's not necessarily too bad. I do apologize for my inconsistent building efforts, as I'm not very good at them. Or at least I haven't figured out how the game works just yet. Now, where was that other rock I just saw before? I was back over here. And I did see a rock on the ground. I'm not too sure how many other ways you can get rocks in this game other than finding them throughout the world. I don't know where that rock was. Here it is. I was going to say I did see it randomly. Not necessary, I don't think, but oh, hang on. No, we can make a crude axe because we have one rock in there. Not what I'm looking forward to. Not looking for, but at least it's there nonetheless. So the only thing I can think of doing is getting either more leaves, more sticks, or maybe even sticking a log over there. Now, as far as I know, you can't cut down the trees that aren't palm trees. I could be mistaken in saying that, but it appears that the only trees I can really chop down are the palm ones. Again, I don't really find too much wrong with that. I do find it a little bit survival and breaking because it's not that immersive. The fact that I can't break down anything and everything. That music creeps me out because that makes me think that there's something out there, and there most likely is something out there, but it's still creepy nonetheless when you hear it. Most likely is a shark hanging around like so. Maybe not having the musical cues, maybe that just feels a little weird, a little forced maybe, I'm not sure. I do find it, oh hang on, this little baby crab, oh. And another rock here as well. So one thing I do want to figure out how to build, thank you, I need one of these. One thing I do want to figure out how to build is again a spear and a bed. And there's another one of these plants here as well. Very nice. Very lucky. Now, because again, this could be used to make something big, given that we have enough resources to make something I haven't made before. It's a possibility, anyways. And the campfire has now gone. It is almost morning, I believe. It is only 2 a.m. So it's nothing. It's not too early, but it's not exactly too dark either. So I'm going to use these here. I'm going to dump these onto the pile. Now, can we make anything better? Oh, there we go. We can make a bed. Bed requires 4 rope, 4 palm, and 6 sticks. And again, this is used for sleeping. I don't know what else it can be used for. But we'll dump this in here as well, see if that gives us any better options. And it does. It gives us a crude hammer, 2 rocks, 1 stick. And we can probably make that after we make the bedding itself. So, what else can I throw in the pile that can maybe make this a little bit better? I don't think I can stick much else in there. So I'm going to make a bed out of this, because we will be staying here for a little while. Now, I don't have any shelter. Not yet, anyways. Maybe I can build one in time. But for now, I'm just going to build my little bed just up here, away from everything. And we can, again, sleep on that if we so desire. Now, this does leave a pile of resources over here, which again, I can probably craft into a crude hammer, which is used for, required for building, I guess. So maybe we need this to build certain specific things. I don't know where it is. There it is. Oh. Oh. I've never seen that glow before, but that's a good sign. That means we can make something good, most likely, if we stick more stuff there. So maybe this gives us access to higher tiered building recipes of sorts, if that makes any sense. Maybe the ability to now build ourselves a bigger shelter of sorts. I probably should have realized that beforehand, but I'd never really saw the purpose of building ourselves a hammer. So what I'm going to do, before ending today's video, because I don't want to go on for too long, is ask you guys, well, for starters, I'm going to chop down this tree here to get myself some logs to see whether or not that will benefit me in crafting something of larger size. But I want to ask you guys whether or not you guys would want to see more of this on my channel at all, as this is a first impressions video. However, it might become a series in time. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys want to see more of this game on my channel here, as I think I might do it anyways. But I just thought I'd get the feedback from you guys as to whether or not you guys want to see it on my channel. I did have a lot of fun doing games like... Okay, so if I bring out the thing here, does that now give me access to... Okay, it's not part of this recipe, so it's a little odd like that. Maybe it'll come up with its own recipe in time as well. I don't know yet. We'll break up more logs and see whether or not we'll actually get something from this. Maybe the hammer will break up a component into another component that I haven't seen yet. I don't think so, but I'm going to break this off anyway to see if maybe these 2 logs will combine, at least in blue glowiness, to see whether or not that's... Okay, so if I... Okay. I thought maybe, just the way that they're glowing, maybe I could utilize that in some way. Okay, that kind of sucks. I was really hoping that maybe just maybe these would glow together, but it doesn't seem like logs can be used together in something. Now this is the one thing that I find really weird about morning, is just occasionally the shadows are a little bit funky for the first 2 seconds of morning, before the sun actually rises up. I just think it's because of the way the sun is shining through all the strands of grass, that's giving you some really weird glowing effects. Anyway, that has been one day in this game, and I would like to, again, to experiment with this a little bit further, and hopefully... I don't know, hopefully experiment a little bit more with the game. I do like what I've played so far. It's a very enjoyable game in its own right. For an early access, early build version of this game here, for what that is right now, it's very enjoyable. I didn't even get to show you guys any exploration, which I know I could have easily done. It just would have taken me a lot of time to get over to the other islands. Again, there is a lot to see in this world, and a lot to do in this world, especially when it comes to exploration. There's broken ships that you can find and scavenge and get maybe hunting rifles, getting other equipment, which is I just think is just really cool. Again, I haven't shown you any of that, but maybe when I do the series, we'll get out there and we'll get to do and have a bit of fun. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to give it a like, and if you want to see more content like this game in the future on my channel, feel free to subscribe. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Stay awesome, everyone.